What's up, guys? Swift here covering everything Chicago Bears. I have another NFL Draft positional rankings video. Today, I covered defensive ends just 2 days ago, and today we're going over defensive tackles. I wanted to do these videos close together because there are a couple guys I have listed as defensive tackles that most places have ranked at defensive end. I think the defensive tackle class is also very talented. So Ryan Poles is going to have plenty of chances to upgrade this defensive line. Let's get right into my top 10. At number 10, I have Carl Brooks. He's 6'4", 305-pound monster of a defensive tackle. He was unmovable during the Senior Bowl and definitely improved his draft stock. He's so powerful and uses his leverage to close up holes in the rushing lane. He will help any team's run defense immediately, but he will always be limited as a pass rusher. He could go on day 2 of the NFL draft, but if Brooks lasts into round 4, he becomes a steal. Then I have Baylor's Siaka Ika. He is also a nose tackle and probably much higher on most people's list. He's an early day 2 target, just a massive 6'4", 358-pound frame. He would be strictly a nose tackle and is a great football player. I'm just not sure how well he fits this defensive scheme. He will be compared to Bucs defensive tackle Vita Vea. They have similar skill sets. He could sneak into the first round, but is most likely a day 2 pick. And then we have USC's Tuli Tuipulotu. He's 6'4", 290 pounds. Most places have him listed as a defensive end, which I think he could play. But to me, he's a better fit at defensive tackle, especially for the Bears. I haven't watched as much tape on Tuli as I have some of the other prospects, but so far I just haven't been as high on him as I am others. I think he could be a really good defensive tackle or fits really well as a defensive end, especially in a 3-4 defense. And then we get to one of my favorite guys, Northwestern's Ade Adebawore. He's 6'2", 285 pounds, and could play anywhere on the defensive line. He's very versatile. His length, athleticism, and power at the point of attack make him an ideal fit at 3-tech in Matt Eberflus's defense. Personally, Adebawore is one of my favorite prospects I studied at the Senior Bowl. He's a guy I really want in the second or third round. It's hard to tell where he will go in the draft, but he's a day 2 starter that is going to make some team very happy. And then at number 6, I have Florida's Gervon Dexter. He's 6'6", 312 pounds, and another good fit at 3-tech. He's a member of Bruce Feldman's Freaks list, coming in at number 83. He's a unique player who has the body type to play the 3-tech position in this Bears defense. He's a stout and powerful prospect who has the pass rushing acumen to be a 3-down player on day 1. Dexter could go as high as late in the first round, but he'd be an awesome pick on day 2 of the NFL draft. At number 5, I have Wisconsin's Keanu Benton. He's 6'4", 315 pounds. He has a long, powerful frame and was one of the most powerful players at the Senior Bowl. He has the potential to be a problem in the middle of a defensive line. He's physically ready for the NFL, and he should also be a day 1 starter. Benton should go in the second round of the NFL draft and is another good fit at the 3-tech position. At number 4, I have Mazi Smith, 6'3", 370-pound, definition of the word. When you see his size, you would instantly say he's better at nose tackle, but Mazi defines the term freakish athleticism. He was the number 1 player on Bruce Feldman's Freaks list. He has incredible power and athleticism. I think he's a guy that Ryan Poles would love to add to this defense. He could play either defensive tackle spot, but if you pair Mazi Smith with another 3-tech, our defensive line could be a real problem for opponents. Keep an eye on Mazi. He has a pending gun charge, and his draft stock is all over the place, but man, I really like this dude. Coming in at number 3 is Calijah Kancey. He's 6 foot, 280 pounds, explosive and powerful. He's another member of Bruce Feldman's Freaks list. Coming in at number 7, he's probably the most advanced pass rusher at the defensive tackle position. He explodes off the line. He has a variety of pass rushing moves. He had 17 sacks over the last 2 seasons, and he looks like a first-round pick to me. He could also play 3-tech. At number 2, we have Clemson's Bryan Bresee. He's 6 foot, 295 pounds, and is the prototype 3-tech for Matt Eberflus's defense. He has the size, length, power, and athleticism that this scheme needs. Bresee is one of the most talented players in this entire draft class, but has never completely lived up to his potential and suffered a torn ACL. The biggest questions with him are how he bounces back from the ACL injury and if he needs to add more strength at the NFL level. And then at number 1, I have Jalen Carter. He's a 6'3", 300-pound wrecking ball. He has the potential to be the best player in this entire draft. He's smart and instinctive, a great football player who has been the best player on Georgia's defensive line for back-to-back championship seasons. He's a blue-chip prospect that checks almost all of the boxes. I love Jalen Carter's game. He has the potential to be a Warren Sapp type player in the NFL. Trading back and landing Jalen Carter at number 4 would be a home run for Ryan Poles, plain and simple. And then we also have some honorable mentions because this defensive tackle group was loaded as well. Byron Young and DJ Dell from Alabama, Zach Pickens from South Carolina, Moro Ojomo and Keandre Coburn from Texas, Gerard Clark from Coastal Carolina, Dante Stills from West Virginia, and more. Defensive tackle's another very talented position in the 2023 NFL Draft. Just like defensive end, it's very possible to find a potential starter on day 2 of the draft or even possibly early on in day 3. Jalen Carter is not the only defensive tackle prospect in this class. I don't think the defensive tackle group is quite as good as defensive end, but it's still very loaded, and this draft class is good for any team looking for help at defensive tackle. The Bears currently only have one defensive tackle on the roster, Justin Jones. While Jones was probably our best player on the defensive line this season, he was not a difference maker on his own. I think he can be a good player going forward as long as Poles adds a lot more talent around him on this defensive line. I, for one, am really excited about the defensive line talent in this year's NFL draft. I honestly would have rather it been a great class for offensive linemen and receivers, but this draft still fits our team's needs very well. In an ideal world, Ryan Poles would be able to upgrade the offensive line via free agency by landing a big-time right tackle and possibly an interior player as well. This would allow him to add from this ultra-talented defensive line group in the NFL draft. I would be a little upset if we didn't take 2 or 3 defensive linemen at some point in the draft. There's just too much talent, and we have huge needs on our defensive line. It's the perfect storm for our front office to upgrade this defensive line via the draft. I still think we could add to the D-line in free agency as well, but considering how great the talent is on this draft on the defensive line and the fact that there are some great options on the offensive line that should be entering free agency, and I think this is the best route to go. My top priorities at this point entering free agency would be one of the 3 right tackles, Mike McGlinchey, Caleb McGarry, or Jawan Taylor. Lock one of them up and then go after Daron Payne or Draymond Jones or an interior lineman like Ben Powers. I couldn't be more excited. It's almost time for the NFL Combine. I will cover the meetings the first couple days and then I will be there Thursday through Sunday. My videos may be a little different for those 4 days as I'm not bringing my big old computer with me. I will have my phone and a generic laptop and do the best I can, but I will have daily videos out while I'm in Indy covering the Combine. I've already made some thumbnails and stuff ahead of time to save me some time over those 4 days. I will probably post some shorts throughout the day as well. Stay tuned, guys. I have more NFL draft and Chicago Bears coverage coming every single day. Please hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down!